welcome to this episode. And this episode is filled with joy and success. And so I've been working on these programs for 8 years now. I've been trying to figure out how to pull all the pieces together. I've been trying to figure out how to communicate this. When I first started telling people about my ideas and what I wanted to do, and even today, when I start talking about what I'm trying to do, people just glaze over, they gray out, they can't hear me, I get this blank stare, and they just don't get it. And so it's taken me quite a bit of time to figure out how to communicate this, what's the best medium, how to teach it, how to make everything work. And along the way, it came about that I had to live it, and that I couldn't just say, hey, this does this and this does this and this does this. I had to experience it. I had to live it. I had to become it, and then talk about my experiences and the outcomes and the impact of what everything I'm talking about in this podcast can do for you. So I thought I had everything ready to go. And I've been recording these podcasts for 2 years now and gone through a whole, hey, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Found a studio that made it work a little bit better, but it's still not quite good enough. And now this is my second time in this amazing studio It's in a little mini art gallery, and it's the perfect place. So this piece of it's in place. But the thing that was holding me back was in January, I went to see a medium, and she's the most wonderful medium in the world. She's Laura Lynn, and angel reader. And she told me one of the cards was like a castle. And I've talked about this in past episodes, but it was a castle toppling. And she said, you're not ready. You're not ready to do this. She said, you need to take about 6 months, and this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. And so she kind of gave me these guidelines from the other realm of what I needed to do. And so I did those over the last 6 months. So what I decided to do was just lean fully into this. 100% creative services based on creativity. 100% creative culture based on creating this amazing work experience for the employees, for clients. Everything is about this elevated experience that just is about more creativity. I started talking to my kids about their missions, their purposes. I started talking to everybody around me about, hey, this is something I want to do. So I was more open about it. And I was building this framework of how do I tie all the elements together? How do I make this work? And what happened is it has been phenomenally successful. It's been phenomenally successful in my business. My employees are they're ignited. It's like they're lighting up. They see it now. They're excited about it. Everybody's like, this is real. And it took that 6 months to make ideas into reality. And so yesterday was the 6-month mark. And so I went back to the medium, and I went with my husband. And all the cards that she turned over were these amazing cards. And everything said, absolutely, you're ready to go. She green-lighted it. The angels green-lighted it. They said, absolutely. And then the angel that signified everything that we're doing with this podcast was hope. And I'm like, absolutely, that's it. That's exactly what I'm doing is saying, hey, you may be living in this human experience. You may be experiencing all this crazy mental suffering, anxiety, everything else, but that's not who you really are. That's just your brain processing thoughts and chemicals throughout your body. And once you learn how to bypass that, and it's really, really easy, getting out of your head, when you get out of your head, you can get into this creative zone. And it's just an amazing place. It just is so, so very cool. And the thing is what you think you are, who you think you are, that whole human, not fitting, not right, not perfect, all of that isn't anything. It doesn't really mean anything. Who you truly are is this amazing creative soul. And it is just so empowering and brings so much courage when you start to live from this place. You're like, well, you've got nothing to lose, and you're willing to take on risks, and you're willing to try new things, and you're willing to put yourself out there because you're just like, that human experience hasn't been working for me. It's pretty miserable. And you when you start to live from this place, it's absolutely amazing. So we've restructured our entire business where our services are in alignment with that. Our employees, our culture is in alignment with that. And it's just this problem-free world where if there's a problem, we immediately do a creative flip and we start brainstorming on it and we come up with the opportunities. And it's so empowering for my team to learn that they can solve any problem. And that's what this podcast is about. You start with this idea of getting out of your head into the non-judgment zone. You start tapping into those ideas. You start getting just ideas and ideas and ideas about what you can do. Or if you're a creative, it's just more creativity. If you're a musician, it's just having those songs flow. If you're a writer, it's having those words flow. An artist, just having it come through you, like the whole 𝗙𝗱𝗏𝗀𝗀 thing, it just comes through you. It comes out of you. You are this channel of creative spirit. And once you start to realize, oh, that's really who I am. This is the part of me that is real, where everything the way my head processes everything around me isn't really real. It's like either a bad coach or a bad newscaster or, putting all this negative or like highs and lows and all of this. It's putting it on the world and what's happening around me. But my interpretation may not be 100% because it's tied to some crazy feelings and some things that have happened to me in the past that bring up a lot of pain and hurt. So I avoid this and I avoid that. And and all of that just disappears. And it just is such a beautiful, wonderful place. It is so to live from this place and to be in it and to be fully open and then to build your world around it. For me, it's my business. It's my employee experience. It's my client experience. We bring our clients into this. We bring marketing teams into our world. We teach them how to brainstorm, how to be more creative. And then all the crazy ideas that come out of that, we make them work. We make crazy work. And that's what people are looking for. They don't want the same old, this is my products and features. This is my marketing. This is what I do. They're looking to be moved. They're looking to be entertained. They don't know this world exists. And when they see something that's truly creative, that's created from this space, it moves something inside of us. It shows us who we really are. And, we're working on our swag line right now. And the one that came out of it, which I love, 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 but they don't want to do it just yet. My team doesn't. And I respect everything. I trust them. So, but I want to say I see creative souls. And I love it because it's got that whole sixth sense, which I would say is your creative sense. And it's got that whole fifth dimension to it where we don't know what this is or where it comes from, or we don't know. We can't identify what that is. So it could be anything. And I love the idea of aliens, but it's beginning to live in this talent, in this space where it's unlimited. It's just crazy. It's like all of a sudden this whole world opens up to you where you're like, I can solve any problem. There is nothing negative in my life. Everything is neutral. And it's how I frame it in my mind and then my mind has that thought and it releases these chemicals of fear and worry and anger and all the negative side of the human experience. And it just, when you get out of that and you no longer operate from that place, and you can operate from that place 100% of the time, you can do your job without like, I hate this, I hate Mondays, I hate my boss. Just all that disappears. And all that churning, all the worry, everything just is gone. And you're in this high performance, high productivity, and all your energy is spent on doing something optimally, like with the most inspiration, the most innovation, the fastest problem solving, the fastest flow of ideas. And it just keeps improving, improving, improving. And in this state, in this amazing, amazing creative state, like you're touching into who you really are. And it's this natural buoyancy, this natural euphoric feeling, this natural, hey, this feels right, where everything else in the world feels wrong. This feels right. And you get this courage, you get this confidence, you get this, I can solve this problem. And you start with small problems, and then you get wins. It's all built about success, and everything's about, and then you can get bigger wins and bigger wins and bigger wins. And where you may have shown up in the world, slightly negative, you're now showing up in the world where you're open to the possibility of everything working out. It just, like, you're like, okay, I know if I live in this negative world and I have this negative energy, I just attract more of that. But let me open myself up to the possibility that there's a space in which I can just be my natural self, my natural buoyant, and it's just a little bit elevated. It's a little bit more positive. But in this space, you start to attract amazing things. Like, things just happen. Everything just starts going from not working out to start working out. And then when they don't work out, when things don't work out, when they're awkward or you wouldn't perceive this as success, you go in there and you're like, okay, what's going on here? Okay, how can I troubleshoot this? How can I troubleshoot that? How can I troubleshoot everything? And you just keep making lists and ideas, and you get out of your head. And the biggest thing is that this is the non-judgment zone. This is the space where miracles happen. This is the space where you can connect to ideas, but you can also connect to everybody around you. And when you start to not see people anymore, when you start to not see what's on the outside, but you start to speak to and you start to address that creative soul in everybody. That's why I see creative souls. When you start to address this greatness in them, and this greatness is flowing from you, and it's opening up the greatness in their world, you just transform the world around you. All of a sudden, it's a non-judgment zone. So you shift from judging your kids to helping support what they're facing, where they are, and then just show them the possibilities of where they can go. Your spouse, it's the most amazing thing for marriages and relationships. So we have a tendency to focus on those things that drive us crazy in a relationship, the things that are just nagging at us. And, oh my gosh, he does this all the time. Why can't he do this? Why can't he do that? Why does he have to? And those things are just these mental churning, and you're just putting this negativity into the relationship all the time. Once you learn to get out of your head and you realize that's just nonsense, all the driving you crazy disappears. It vanishes. It's gone. And it's amazing, because then you have this where you're actually on this soul journey with this person, and you have this amazing alignment. And even though you're totally different, those things that used to bother you, those things that this person wasn't good enough for this, or they weren't doing this, or blah, 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 all of that just disappears. It's and then you're on this joint vision of what a marriage could be to both of you. And you're on this joint, you're not on this, where you're constantly, one's trying to control the other and push the other. And you're both supporting this journey of, we're trying to create this amazing life together. The thing that's between us that's the strongest is just this space that we share together. And when you start to live from this place with your spouse, with your partner, with your children, with all the people around you, you create and live in this space with them, this space of potential and opportunity. Like all the nonsense, all the stuff that drives you crazy just disappears. And it's all about potential and opportunity. And successes come faster and faster and faster and faster. And if you told me 6 months ago that I wasn't ready, I probably would have said, you're wrong. I'd been defensive. I would have said, no, I've got my act together. My business is perfect. But I didn't hear it from anybody. I heard it from another realm. And so I took the time to listen. I took the time to take steps and get my world in order with what I was told to do. And it is absolutely amazing. Hi, it's me, Julie. This program and our future endeavors to make this world a better place are supported by my business, 𝗙𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗀, an exceptional marketing agency. Hire us to develop a highly creative marketing campaign that will feature on this show and give you amazing visibility. And a portion of the profits go to this programming. So go to 𝗙𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗀.com and let's talk about your business and how we can help you. The creative culture we have at work, like I've always had this vision of being the best. And it's a very competitive spirit that I have, but I want the best work environment. I want the best benefits, the best pay, the best products and services for our clients. I want to be the best at search engine optimization. I want to be the best at creative, but not creative in just hey, we produce ads, but we bring you in, you're part of our team, we co-create together, and your knowledge of your brand, your knowledge of your customers, your knowledge, bringing that into our team and working with our team, and we do this creation together. That's something unique, and it really puts us on another level as far as agencies, because we value and honor what our clients can bring to the table just as much as what we can bring to the table, because it's, at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about us being this open to channeling something that's going to move audiences. Marketing that moves us is really where we want to be. We want to be operating in that space. And so it is working now. It is crazy good. It is lighting up the souls of all my employees. Everybody's taking ownership. And the speed at which we are evolving and moving into the space and living in the space and making it sacred, it is mind-blowing what we've been able to do over the last 6 months. And it's just like incredible. And so the podcast is about, okay, this is a snapshot into this crazy, crazy world that's a part of all of us that we don't address, we don't teach, we don't learn about it. Only the gifted kids are taught how to brainstorm, in most schools. We need to teach this to everybody. We need to teach it to kids from youngest age. This is one of the biggest tools you have in your toolbox. You can find any level of success when you operate from here. You can be your best person. You can find your path. You can find your passions. You can discover everything in this space, but we just don't talk about it, and it's not part of our vocabulary. So my goal is to create a whole vocabulary, education, and education for all demographics, education that people can understand. It puts it in their world, in their language, and they can see it. There are role models. There are examples. And I want to reach seniors. I want to solve every problem that seniors face with this. I want to solve some of the hardships that we have in life, like bullying, and just using this as your Teflon, as your creative resilience. That stuff just They have no power over you anymore. So join me for this podcast. Keep listening. I'm hoping this inspires you because it's all about my journey to get to this place. And hopefully you'll see those parts of you that you'll tap into and you'll create something magnificent. So have a really wonderful creative week, and I'll talk to you next week.